Hi all, this is Mrs. Mester, librarian at Chinook, and we know that February we celebrate African American Heritage Month or Black History Month. Um, and also the first week of February is Black Lives Matter week. So this is a book talk focusing on Black Lives Matter. And we know that Black Lives Matter all the time, and I want to acknowledge that and call that out. I also want to acknowledge that the first week of February, we specifically focus on books that celebrate Black lives and focus on the Black Lives Matter movement. So that's what this book talk is about books focusing on Black Lives Matter. There are so many good books out there, and these are ones that we have at our school library, and they're available to be checked out. So All American Boys by Jason Reynolds and Brendan Kiely is a book dealing with police brutality and gun violence and what happens when a boy is caught in the crossfire. Many of you probably already know the book The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas or have seen the movie. And if you haven't read it, you ought to. It's amazing. And it's about gun violence and what happens in a community, and especially with a girl who stands up to change. The book Black Brother by Jewell Parker Rhodes is a middle grade novel. That means it's written for middle school students, and it focuses on the experiences of two biracial brothers, one who is lighter skinned and one who is darker skinned, and how people perceive them. And the focus of the book, the very beginning, the younger brother, who is darker skinned, is a victim of bullying, and the principal at the school calls the police about an incident that happens, and he is arrested as a 7th grader for an incident that he actually didn't even do. And that is the beginning of his character journey, and this is an amazing story that everybody ought to read. The book Say Her Name by Zetta Elliott is a book of poetry about Black Lives Matter and about women. And so if you like poetry, check out the book Say Her Name. These 4 books, Stamped, Piecing Me Together, How It Went Down, and I Am Alfonso Jones, are all different, and the narration is amazing. Stamped is nonfiction, and it deals with the history of racism and anti-racism and how it impacts teenagers today. How It Went Down, a young boy is shot, and it's different people's perspectives on what happened. And so every chapter is a different story, a different place and time, a different perspective, and it's all about one incident where a teenager is shot. I Am Alfonso Jones is a graphic novel, and that book is heartbreaking and so powerful and is a must-read. Piecing Me Together by Renee Watson is a little bit different, and it focuses on the main character as an overcomer and how people are constantly trying to put her into a box because of the color of her skin, and she is not about that, and she overcomes. The book is amazing, and she is an artist, and so the book is the cover is to remind you of her calligraphy and her art. The book X by Ilyasa Shabazz is a historical fiction about Malcolm X. It's good. You should read it. The book Long Way Down by Jason Reynolds is a novel in verse. The main character gets on an elevator and he's traveling down thinking about his brother who was shot and killed and about what is he going to do next. Is he going to retaliate the gun violence or is he going to stop? And so when you read it, come find me and we need to have a conversation about that ending. The book Monster by Walter Dean Myers is about a young teenager who is in jail and is dealing with what's going on. He writes his story as a screenplay. And this book is like, there's a reason why there's so many awards on this cover. The book Dear Martin by Nick Stone is about gun violence, police brutality, but also about being a teenager. And it's just, this is a must read. Everything by Nick Stone is a must read. When I Was the Greatest, Clean Getaway, New Kid, Tyler Johnson Were Here. All really powerful stories. New Kid by Jerry Craft is a graphic novel. And I think it's just the power of a graphic novel in telling a story. And the main character, a new kid, goes to a new school, and everybody around him, including his peers, and his teachers, judge him by the color of his skin. Clean Getaway, about being young and Black and celebrating that. Tyler Johnson Is Here. It was about teen violence. When It Was the Greatest is about growing up and just being a teenager and celebrating being a teenager. Also has violence, but not the kind you think. It's about celebrating being a teenager. Ghost Boys deals with boys who have been murdered, and they're the ghosts telling the story. You'll see it's also by Jewell Parker Rhodes, who's on the first slide, author of Black Brother, Black Brother. This author is amazing, and this is a middle grade story. Brown Girl Dreaming by Jacqueline Woodson is a memoir, so that means it's a true story about the author's life, written in verse. It's poetic, and it's gorgeous. And it's about her experience being born during the civil rights movement to coming to age now. And Jacqueline Woodson is a very well-known author, so worth reading. A Good Kind of Trouble by Lisa Moore Ramee. If you couldn't tell by the title, it's about civil rights and standing up for yourself. Middle grade story, gentle and powerful and wonderful. Black Enough by Ibi Zoboi is a collection of short stories, so it's an anthology. And each of these authors has a different short story included in the anthology. So if you like reading short stories, give this one a shot. These are all books that you can check out from our school library. They're available to be put on hold, and we let you know when they are available so you can come get it. You can also access these as ebooks through our Sora. So if you have questions, you can contact me or any other school librarian, and we can help you find these books. Take care.